I expect a lot of pain during one water race. I mean, it will be 2 full days and 2 nights which I spend outside my comfort zone, for sure. But that's also why I want to do this race.
What keeps me coming back is walking into these races that seem impossible, right? And literally are impossible unless you get to that point, you break, and you keep walking, you keep swimming.
This is one of the toughest possible challenges you can put your body through. You're out there, you're not getting sleep, you're destroying your body, you're hungry, you're tired. And anyway, there's something that just keeps dragging us back into it.
One of the toughest races in the world.
Not all teams will cross the finish line in this race.
I could push through anything for my teammates.
It is an experiment because no one knows what's going to happen.
These athletes, these are no rookies, that's for sure. They have been competing in long-term extreme endurance events for a very long time. So you have to have those years of experience that builds your stamina and endurance to be able to cope with this. So physiological adaptations over many years to build this. And also the mindset. They have to be very prepared.
50 hours. So good.
So in terms of 25 years of endurance sports experience, nothing has scared me like preparing for a race with 50 kilometers of swimming and 200 kilometers of running like the One Water Race.
When I created One Water Race, it was meant for the best endurance racers in the world.
The reason I keep doing adventure races like One Water Race is I love discovery. Discovery of myself and discovery of new terrain.
Rob Preston is a very strong athlete and one of the best navigators in the world.
I've been orienteering since I was 5 or 6, so that's nearly 40 years of experience now, and raced in 40 or 50 countries around the world.
He's a legend. An athlete that you know, when he puts his mind to it, he's going to go out there, he's going to do everything he can to be successful. He's not going to worry about anything, and he's just going to get the task done.
It's so rare to have a worldwide competition with athletes of that caliber. And I think in those moments, you get to see what is truly, truly humanly possible.
Jared being in the Olympics is a bragging right for me, but maybe not for him. But for me, just to be able to be in the same room with him as a professional, I think is pretty cool.
For me, once I got to the end of my triathlon career, I knew physically I couldn't necessarily push myself as hard as I used to, but I knew that mentally there was more to unlock. And so that's the piece of adventure racing that I've really enjoyed is, using maps, navigating, what's the fastest way to get from here to there. So for me, it's adding the mental piece into the physical.
What we endurance racers have in common is, I would say, it's the mindset. Because we want to do the impossible. We want to go to places we haven't been before. Not from a physical perspective, maybe, but I would say from a mental perspective.
It's one of the best things for humans and humanity mentally. Like, we need more people that understand what it's like to get broken and to come back, right? Because we all get close to that edge and then we look for a way out. We look for a way to get comfort. We look for a way to have less pain, right? Instead of saying, wow, this is so painful. Like, but can I keep going?
I mean, I want to keep going, but you guys will want to. Go.
You know, I know I talk a lot about how, you know, adventure racing and these expedition races have made me a better person and make a lot of people better humans. And, you know, my wife and I had, you know, after years of racing, kind of figuring this out, we decided to have kids, and we had twin boys, and we lost one of them at birth, right? So we're learning to be parents, right, at the same time we're grieving. How do we move forward? How do we be humans? How do we find joy? How do we find anything other than sadness and pain? And we luckily are surrounded by people that have raced with us, and, you know, it was amazing for them to be able to remind us, like, this is what you've been doing for 10 years, right? Like it's like finding a way forward when you can't go forward, like when there's so much pain and so much suffering. And we were able to look back at, you know, subconsciously, like, races and that strength, and not rely on each other. It was like, rely on our teammates.
If you take it from the approach of gratitude, that you get the opportunity to face these challenges, to face the suffering, you will appreciate the gifts, the learnings that it teaches you along the way.
I can't wake up.
You have to learn to share the burden, right? You have to learn to kind of figure out what's going to make each other tick.
I want you to drink a little more of that. We're gonna get some food in you.
It sounds crazy to say this, but like one of the best things that has happened to my wife and I in our lives and our community is losing one of our twin boys. It has made us different humans, right? Just like these races, if you allow them to, turn you into different humans, allow you to grow. So that's it in a nutshell.
When I saw what One Water race was, I could not get it out of my head because it was my next challenge. I had to do it, and I needed to make sure that I finished that race. My background is swimming. When I was younger, I was on the Canadian national team for swimming. I went all over the world. I did some of the World Cup events, went to Olympic trials, was a Canadian record holder in some relays. So it was kind of a natural progression from that into multi-sport racing, and then from multi-sport racing into adventure racing. When I push my body to the limits and I find myself somehow digging deeper than I've ever dug before, I get this rush, I guess, and it's addictive.
I think I started adventure racing because I was curious what will happen when you just move on for days and nights. How much can you push yourself?
Christine's an amazing athlete. When I came into the sport, she'd won everything. She has won everything, and she's still winning everything. So she's the queen of this sport.
Christine is very competitive, and it helps the team of keeping up the focus on moving forward all the time.
I have a full-time job, 2 kids, a husband that races as well.
Now it's an honor to be racing with them both.
One Water Race is created for the best endurance races in the world. This year, we will have 7 teams from 4 continents, 28 of the most experienced endurance racers in the world.